I now call this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners to order. It's now 4 o'clock or 1600 hours. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the press of Atlantic City and mailed to the Kern and the Hamilton Gazette, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mays Landing. At this time, we'll have our opening prayer.
Heavenly Father, guide us that we may be productive leaders of our community. Direct our actions and decisions, Lord, for the service of others. Amen.
Amen. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Chairman Commissioner Gatto is attending virtually today.
Okay.
Ballas.
Here.
Bertino.
Here.
Horsey.
Present.
Days.
Here.
Fitzpatrick. Here. Gatto.
Here.
Kern.
Here.
Parker.
Present.
Grizzly.
Here. First order of business is the adoption of the minutes from our August 1st meeting. Chair will entertain a motion to adopt these minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Corsi. Any discussion on the minutes? If not, please call the roll.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Horsey.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes. Okay. Anyone in person that would like to speak during public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and the town you reside. You'll be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you're attending virtually, please type yes and the resolution number in the question and answer box. Any items not listed on the agenda, you may speak during public comments. You'll be called upon to speak, and a request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside in. I'm not sure if we have everybody here yet. Commissioner Marino, so we'll wait.
I'm giving you, I'd say let's move the agenda, and if we get some of the kids able to, they're in the parking lot, okay. Give a chance to assemble.
All right, we'll move on to the ordinances. And we'll have Madam Clerk read ordinance number 7 by title.
Ordinance amending the County of Atlantic's existing fee schedules for certain county Department of Public Safety Services, final reading.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion. Any public comment on this final reading of ordinance number 7? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Horsey.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read by title ordinance number 8.
Ordinance to repeal chapter 123 from the county code in its entirety, final reading.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Davies. Discussion? Any public comment?
First reading.
I'm sorry.
I don't.
You're correct. No. Final.
So sorry.
Final reading, yes. Okay, it's final reading. Okay. Any public comment? Any discussion by the board? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Horsey.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes. Please read ordinance number 9 by title.
Ordinance amending County Code Chapter 97 entitled Parks concerning use of county parks, final reading.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, call the roll.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Horsey.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Gatto.
Sorry.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes. Please read by title ordinance number 10 on first reading.
Ordinance repealing Chapter 72 of the Atlantic County Code excavation and highway occupancy permits, and adopting a new Atlantic County Code, Chapter 72, captioned County Right-of-Way Use and Occupancy Standards, Permits, and Prohibited Acts, first reading.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Days. Any discussion by the board?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I just want to say that this ordinance was discussed at a code committee meeting last week and passed out.
Thank you. Sounds like you're ready to vote.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. I'm not sure if they're ready down there.
They ready. They ready. Let's ready to get them out of here. You know, let's ready to go.
Bring him in. Bring him in. You would. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
Do the form up there.
Man, put him in.
Hey, thank you.
We seen you. Same here.
Wow. I got the whole scene.
That's pretty perfect.
Come on in. That's
Facing, you guys facing the audience?
You guys are stars, so come on in.
There you go, guys.
Give me a nice hug.
Person on one end. Put Bertino in the front.
I got enough stars.
Yeah, we're Italian for heaven. That's pretty much what we are. Bertino. Uh-oh, what's this?
Guys good?
Doing, sir?
Good.
You doing the back?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Got spread out.
How are you guys?
Hey.
Hello there. Thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you guys all for coming. Go, one, guys, stay there with us.
Commissioner Bertino has the floor.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you all for coming out today. For the little leaguers and their big leaguers. I want to congratulate you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and Atlantic County residents. You know, to achieve a goal, to win your championships, your district championships and your sectionals doesn't happen that often. And I think a lot of times us as leaders can learn a lot from our kids. Work together and you can achieve something. And I think that's important. So we wanted to take the time to congratulate you guys on the effort you put together this year, not only for yourselves. I see future leaders here that belong working, don't tell them yet, but actually belong working and helping out in government. I think it's a great place, and this is how this kind of stuff starts. Working together, accomplishing goals, and doing something meaningful for your community and yourselves. So I take the time, as I said, on behalf of the board, to thank you guys for coming out. Coach, if you'd like to say a couple of words today, you've got the floor is open for you.
Absolutely, yeah, just thank you very much. I mean, the support from not just Hamilton, but the county of Atlantic, and actually after we kept winning, all South Jersey it was really special. I got texts, the other coaches did too. There was social media posts all over, and the kids felt that support, and it really helped out. I think it was 788 teams they told us started out, and we made it to the top four. And we hadn't had that since the 80s.
Wow.
So that was kind of a special thing for a very small town like Hamilton. That was very special to us. So, but again, I thank you to the kids, our support, and the parents, and everybody for just helping us. And obviously, the coaches that just keep me in line and straight for the whole thing. So, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. For all you guys today, we do have some proclamations from the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners, which you guys, I'm going to give it to the coach that can hand them out. Coaches get them as well. And also from our county executive, Dennis Levinson, who wanted to give his congratulations and ask you guys, congratulate you on the effort you did and working as a team. It makes, as we said earlier, it's a little bit more of what we need. Everybody working together, accomplishing stuff. So I'm going to pass some of these out, and I'm going to let you hand these out, Coach, as you see fit, since we got quite a few people here. We are going to probably want to do a photo.
Yes, sir.
So, whichever, Tara, you're going to have to handle this one as far as the layout. So you want a minute? Okay.
Parents are surprised you didn't tell us.
Now we can see the banners.
Yeah, let the guys stand up. You guys have to stand up.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Wait a minute.
Come on, Frank. Tighten in. Tighten in. Turn sideways.
Brenda got him. You okay, Brenda?
Yep.
You got him?
Yep. Thank you.
I think you got it. Good?
Yeah. Very good.
Coach, we're gonna hand these.
Picture, yeah.
We actually got our
I didn't know.
Late arrivals.
So you got a good side.
Yeah.
Which side is that? Neither.
Like, really? I thought we were
Just that they got 3 late arrivals. Sorry.
Upside down.
Oh, well.
Sorry.
That's
okay. So I'm really glad you guys all got a chance to come out here and watch county government in action today. I don't know if I want to put you through that, sit through the entire meeting, but you guys are all welcome if you'd like to stay as well, or you can leave.
I know we do have some football players here that have to get back, so.
Practice, practice.
Coach, don't torture them, let them go. We're not stealing any.
At this point, I can start to hand them out, and then,
I'm in order, so you.
and then we can take one more picture maybe at the end, if that's okay with everybody. So we keep holding on, I'm just gonna hand these out to you guys.
They're in order, so you are move together as you hand them out.
First, Colin Peak. Braden Bendig. Mason Bendig. Frank Restuccio.
You'll have the county one on top and the county executive right underneath.
Yeah.
It'll be duplicates.
Okay.
For the names, you won't say.
Okay, so I see what you're doing, yeah. Aiden Sanfrini.
So I'll get these out, yeah, because they're all the same.
Yep. All right, Joseph Baglava. Colton Robinson. And the other guys get here yet? I'll get them with you. You want to hold this for me? All right. Cell phone. Dander. Okay, Brian Fasciani. Man, I think that's it, right? Does everyone have one? Yeah, I got these other ones for you guys, so I'll come at the end. Thank you very much. Again, for picture wise, is the other guys here and
Yeah.
All right, this is what it is. Well, thank you again, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Take your roll.
Congrats.
Take it easy on them.
Parents, if you wanna go, you can too as well. Thank you for coming out.
Kids are gonna go to parents.
They might wanna stay.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congrats.
Thanks for coming down. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Bertino, you did one great job.
Well, thank you. I do it once in a while.
You did a great, fantastic job.
Yeah, they're great kids.
Circumstances of a small room.
And well, they're great kids too, and I was really glad they were all able to attend.
Right.
In the beginning, like you said, it's neat. And we, as I said earlier, we could all learn a lot watching the kids sometimes. so.
Absolutely.
That's a big commitment too, what they put, you know, for their whole summer,
Time,
during pretty much their entire summer between the coaches and the kids, so good job, guys.
Very good. Okay. Now we'll move into our resolutions. Madam Clerk, please read number 419, 419.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Association of County and City Health Officials with guidance from the New Jersey Department of Health to support continued COVID-19 response with year 2 enhancing public health infrastructure grant funding, amount not to exceed $2,016,191.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by. I'm sorry, was it Alice? Commissioner Alice, Alice in the second. My apologies.
He wants it.
Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 420.
Amending resolution number 377 adopted on July 18, 2023, a grant from New Jersey Transit and the United States Department of Transportation to correct the funding amount pursuant to section 5311 of the Federal Transit Act. Total mandatory amount $625,900.50.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Corsi. Discussion? Any public comment? Just like to mention, all these were discussed in our budget meeting as well, budget committee. Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 421.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Human Services Division of Aging Services for the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, amount not to exceed $39,000.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Days. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 422.
Grant application to New Jersey Transit and the United States Department of Transportation for the fiscal year 24, section 5311 Innovations Grant, funding pursuant to the Federal Transit Act, funded amount $150,000, cash match $50,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 423.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development for the program year 2023 Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act Adult and Dislocated Worker Program, amount not to exceed $2,140,608.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 424.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development for the program year 2023 Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act Youth Program, amount not to exceed $1,465,479.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Days. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, call the roll.
Alice?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 425.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development for the program year 2023 Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act Data Reporting and Analysis Allocation Program, amount not to exceed $12,971.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 426.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development for the program year 2023 Work First New Jersey program, amount not to exceed $2,892,919.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Bertino. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Forty?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 427.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development for the program year 2023 Workforce Learning Link Program, amount not to exceed $75,000.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner
Dallas.
Ballas, second by Commissioner Parker. Thank you. Discussion on this? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Forty?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 428.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development for the Supplemental Workforce Development Benefits Program year 2023 Smart Steps Program, amount not to exceed $1,605.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bertino, second by Commissioner Parker. Any discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Forty?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 429.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Office of the Attorney General for the state fiscal year 2023 Operation Helping Hand Grant, amount not to exceed $105,263.15.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Parker. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Forty?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 430.
Federal aid cost reimbursement agreement with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the fiscal year 23 federal aid funding for the construction costs associated with the resurfacing of Weymouth Road, sections 8B and 9 in Hamilton Township, amount not to exceed $2,159,789.15.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Forty?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 431.
Grant application and acceptance from the State of New Jersey Juvenile Justice Commission to accept innovations funding for the Atlantic County Youth Services Commission Home Electronic Detention System Case Management Program, amount not to exceed $120,000.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bertino, second by Commissioner Days. Okay, discussion. Hearing none, any public comment? Call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Forty?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 432.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for the Clean Communities Program, amount not to exceed $147,008.07.
Moved.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas, second by Commissioner Corsi. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Forty?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, 433, please, professional service agreement.
Amending resolution number 607 adopted on November 1st, 2022, a professional services agreement with Johnson, Meerman, and Thompson Incorporated for the replacement of two bridges at Weymouth Road over Skulls Run, HML 18, and Little Mill Stream, HML 19, in Hamilton Township to extend the term date only, no additional cost.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, how is this going to, we just passed the resolution for the paving on Weymouth Road. Is this going to tie in with the bridge replacements or?
Well, this is to extend the date. We have an
I know that
engineer
it's
here.
22.
Yeah,
Doug?
so the paving's actually on the south side of 322. This is on the north side of.
So they're not gonna affect each other at
Right.
all? Okay.
Any discussion? Yes.
Just one other question. Doug, what was the reason for the extension?
We just finally got our right of way recently, so we are just working through the review of the final set of plans. Once that review is done, it will go to NJDOT for their review. And once they approve it, we go to out to bid.
Okay. Any other questions? Very good. Any public comment? Hearing none, call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes, please read 434.
Competitive contracts with various providers for the provision of a Workforce New Jersey to Work Activities Program, amount not to exceed $1,200,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Day, second by Commissioner Bertino. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes, please read 435.
Competitive contracts with various providers for the provision of a Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act in-school youth program, amount not to exceed $324,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas? Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes, please read 436.
Renewal bid contract with Arawak Paving Company Incorporated to provide on-call maintenance resurfacing in various municipalities, amount not to exceed $883,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Days. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
No.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes. Please read 437.
Bid contract authorizing the purchase of electricity from Constellation New Energy through the South Jersey Power Cooperative, amount not to exceed $785,431.20.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes, please read 438.
Shared Services Agreement with the Atlantic County Utilities Authority for routine maintenance and emergency response and repair services of pumping stations at various county locations, amount not to exceed $186,190.21.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes. Okay, please read 439.
Shared Services Agreement with the Atlantic County Special Services School District and the Atlantic County Vocational School District to provide Class 3 special law enforcement officers to serve as armed security officers to extend the term date revenue generating.
Move.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Corsi. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes, please read 440.
Alternate method contract with KD National Force Security and Investigations Limited Liability Company to provide security services at the Atlantic County Central Municipal Court, amount not to exceed $625,200.
Motion?
Moved.
Thanks.
Nobody said that with some of that.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas, second by Commissioner Corsi.
That was actually moved by Gatto.
Was it? I'm sorry. Didn't hear you, Amy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I seconded it.
All right. Any discussion?
Yeah, I was slow to move on that. I was wondering if something up.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes. Amy got something?
Commissioner Gatto.
well, I was just gonna say, Mr. Chair, since there was hesitation, maybe we should explain a little bit. We did have good discussion on this in our administration subcommittee. So bottom line is there was discussions that the sheriff's department, just I think from a resource perspective, might be better served by having a private contractor come in, and the contractor is going to come in and provide these services at a much better price than we're paying right now. So we're going to see savings, but have the same level of service that we were getting from the sheriff's department. I don't know if Mr. Chair, you or Jerry want to elaborate further.
I think you made it very, very clear, Commissioner. Jerry, did you want to say a few more words about it?
Mike is here. Mike
Mike?
has negotiated.
Go ahead,
the
Mike.
agreement, so.
We had met with the sheriff and, before we even started talking, he said, I want to pull my guns out of the court. So, we went back and, by the way, Kevin DePatri is the CEO and president, and Jim Mullins is the vice president of the company. So we went back, we talked to them, we're ready to go. We're only gonna use 6 people. And it's gonna be a good operation. It's not what they thought it was gonna be in the beginning. It's not that much of a deal. And they do a great job in Cape May County. I talked to Judge Belasco. They do court security, I think, in Upper Township, and we're very happy with this contract.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, through you.
Just for the sake of with the merged court itself. So if you remember, the merged court was put together. Jim was one of the architects, and the mayors, there are two committees, and the mayors sit on both of those committees. And we originally, that the county is, so everybody fully understands, the county is vested with the expenses. That's our job. The court actually gets run by the courts. I mean, I think most people don't fully understand that. Courts are running the courts. County is paying the function of the courts. And so what happens is when the negotiations began, the mayors suggested that we go get we were looking at a private security force. We were comparing costs. Obviously, we have contracts with the sheriff, so you have to abide by whatever the contract says, in terms of costs. So when we got to that point, they wanted the sheriff's officers in there, and that's what we did. And if you look at the costs over time, and the key issue, if you remember, twofold. One, the cost. Two are the state cases. State passed a law saying that any state case had to come to the Central Municipal Court. So if you went back and looked at our records for 2022, we were serving roughly, I think if I remember correctly, there were 54,000 cases, of which 10,000 cases were state cases, which meant all of the entities that stayed as municipalities, we were serving their cases. So for example, in Atlantic City, we got 3,800 cases. If you go out to the joint court in Hamilton, we got like 5,000 cases. So there was no reason for a municipality to even join if we were going to handle the bulk of their cases, in particular those in the western end of the county and like Atlantic City. So our function was during the year is obviously meet with the mayors, talk to them about the costs going forward and the law that needed to be changed, that all the state cases needed to go back to the town of origin. So that's the mission that we were on. We sat with the sheriff, like Mike said, and he was very understanding and made a commitment that he would do whatever, because he's committed to this court as well. and he was very, very positive about, helping us. So with respect to the cost, this should cut the cost significantly. And we are, as you know, the county executive wrote to all of our state legislators that represent some portion of Atlantic County, so there are 4 senators and 8 assembly people. And now my understanding is the AOC, the administrative officer of the course, has given the Superior Court judge the leeway to go ahead and speak with our state senators and assembly people to explain to them how it's impacted, their functioning within this central court. That's kind of the overview.
Through you,
Mr.
Jerry.
Parker?
Did the union, did we speak to the union? Did we sit down with the union, the officers union, and get their opinion on this?
We are, Jim and I are having those conversations.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
but I'm a little confused with that, Jerry. If you're awarding the contract to an outsider.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of talking to the union?
Well, they wanted, because there is personnel, it's the whole issue of personnel. In other words, there were 9 people we placed into the Central Municipal Court on behalf of the sheriff. That's what he requested.
So,
And so they have a different belief on how we're going to handle those personnel. The sheriff agreed to a staffing pattern. And that's what we're going through with the union right now, the staffing pattern that the sheriff has agreed to, and we're going through that with them.
Mr. Chair. Yeah, I have other questions. I just, I wait.
Commissioner Bertino?
That's all. Jerry, you cleared it up for me. My concern was in the beginning, the agreement we had with the sheriff's department and providing personnel. We all understand that the volume in the courts and stuff is completely different today. As long as the sheriff, who's the head of the sheriff's department, says, I need my forces someplace else, then that's his call, and then we have to adapt and adjust accordingly. So I have no problem with it as stated, so.
Commissioner Ballas?
Yes, sir. So first of all, in my prior life, I had a lot of dealings with this company, and they're more than qualified. And I think I even brought up during our conversation as the central court was being formed, that that's who we should be going with instead of the sheriff's office. But with that said, we did go with the sheriff's office, and, we put close to $1 million into his budget to add additional personnel, additional supervisory positions, to be able to handle that. Is that money and then positions coming out of that budget? So we're not double paying for this.
That's correct. I mean, the way we're handling it is we agreed on not hurting any employee. In other words, we're not getting rid of people, not terminating.
Well, there's no
So-
turnover.
And that's exactly, you would know that. So I think he has 4 vacancies now.
Mhm.
And so that he was going to move, when this gets consummated, the contract gets signed, start dates are all set up and everything, he would move 4 of those officers immediately back into the vacancies. And then we've agreed over time, he has a few retirements that he's gone through, so we're working through it like that. And that's, the discussion with the union on how that process will unfold.
So through attrition, we're gonna come
That's
back
correct.
to
Yeah.
the table of organization
correct.
where we're not gonna be expanded
That's correct.
by supervisors and officers for positions they're not gonna be covering.
That's correct.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
So, but through you to Jerry. One, when he started out with this county court, it was a big, everybody needs to join the county court, and we're gonna put the staff in it, as you indicated. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z. How many people have pulled out of the county court?
As of right now, I mean, when you say how many pulled out, none are out. We know how many. Hamilton and Northfield both said that they want to go with Hamilton. That hasn't been.
Who, Northfield and who else?
Northfield and Hamilton Township.
They're the only 2 that was gonna pull out?
Well, no, that's, those were the 2 that said they were gonna pull out.
So-
Then you have Venter that is saying that they may or may not go with Brigantine.
So would it be fair to say you started out with what, 9,
10,
10, and you may be down to 7, May? Because nobody's really actually left the county
that's correct.
yet, but they threatening to go, right?
Yep.
And
Based on cost,
I understand.
Okay.
Whether it's course or not, they're threatening to go, right? For whatever the reason may be. So I want to go back to the comment that was made earlier. I'm always taken back if it's a county court and then the sheriff's department telling me we can't do, hell, it's a county court, the county sheriffs. And we had this argument, this discussion before. The county sheriffs is a part of the county and continue to talk about don't have the manpower. Then we take taxpayers' money and we go out and hire an outside agency to come in to man our store. So I've always been a little leery of that, and I get it. Frank's been in the sheriff's department. I mean, they always crying for additional help. I get that. But at some point, in my mind, I can't speak for nobody else, but in my mind, if it's a county court, that sheriff's department is involved in it. Keep telling you don't have the manpower to do X, Y, and Z. Sheriff's department's closed on the weekends. So I'm always confused when it comes to that. And I'm sure there's a whole lot of inside stuff that I'm not aware of. And again, Frank probably have more inside scoop in terms of how the sheriff's department runs more than John Q. the public. But when you look at contracts coming in at $600,000-$700,000 for outside entity to come in to man our courts, I wonder, we'll say, no, it's not a burden on the taxpayer, but it is, because that's additional funding going out. It's just like, if y'all remember, those of you who were up here, I argued against the security firm that we hired to be in the libraries. Started out at a little number, it's over $1 million something up now. So the taxpayers keep paying all this additional outside funding when we keep saying it's good for the county, and some of it is. None of it is revenue generated. And don't get it wrong. I'd rather have somebody in there in that courtroom with some authority than to be fooling around and somebody get hurt. I get that. And there's always going to be safety issue. I'm just always taken back when the sheriff's department says, we need our manpower. We can't do the courts. The hell, last time I checked, they were county employees, and that's the sheriff's department and the county taking over the central court. So I hear what you're saying. I think we need to take another look at it down the road. I did not review this one. Is this a 1-year contract?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be.
It's year to year.
It'll be renewable, correct? It's 1
And Chairman, just for the record, I did not get to read this. I was tired of it. I didn't make budget meeting yesterday. My point was, I guess my question is, how many employees does this, and this would go to the president and vice president, how many employees, how many days a week for almost $700,000 for 1 year contract? It's a lot of money. Now, are they armed officers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're gonna be armed. It's 5 days a week. It'll be from like 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock. No weekends.
There's no courts open on weekends that I know of, except
No.
at least y'all doing something tricky, but I don't think so.
Mr. Chair,
I mean, that's all I have, Chairman. I mean,
Okay.
I get you. I get what you want to do. I'm just, in the back of my head, I mean, we've got to take a better look at it. Again, you got county employees telling us what we can't do.
I think Commissioner Gatto.
Mr. Chair.
Speak.
yeah, just Ernest, I mean, all due respect to you, you know, we were gonna be spending this money, whether the sheriffs or it's this company, it's not like it's an added cost on the taxpayer. And in fact, Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's a $300,000 annual savings than what we were paying the sheriff's department. So
Six,
sorry.
Commissioner, 600,000 is the savings. Annualized is 600,000. And that's those savings get passed along to the 10 towns. That's
Correct. So just wanted to clear up, it sounds like you're saying, Ernest, and it just might be, I'm hearing it wrong, but it sounds like you're perceiving it as it's an added cost on the taxpayers. It's not, it's actually a savings.
It is.
at the moment.
It is. How is it not?
It is at the
How is,
moment.
we would be spending it on security regardless. We would be
A
spending
security
this
firm is
money,
not employed by the county. Some additional cost.
I think, Mr.
but we
Mr.
added
Chair,
officers to the
I think
sheriff.
what Jerry's telling us is this, this year when you adopted the budget, you had to put money into the budget for security at the facility. So the money was adopted and put into the sheriff's budget for operational costs. It's still in there. Well, at the end, hopefully, we're gonna save some money and you'll be able to pull it out. The Frank's question earlier was, he wants to get to the point where you pull it all out. If we're not gonna do security, out of the sheriff's budget, or if he needs to hire personnel and it's in addition to, you have funds to massage that in there, but we're leaving that to you guys through administration to discuss it, then come back to us with it. At the moment, that's how I'm reading that, so. We're spending extra money right now because you have to put it out for a new contract because the money's already tied up in his budget. You're not getting it back to pay these gentlemen out of the sheriff's budget.
Well, and that's true. What we discussed though was, is as soon as the contract is agreed upon and there's a start date, at least 4 that I know about, I haven't seen the most recent, but at least 4 will go back into those positions.
It could be transfers
So the
made
money-
out.
The money would then lapse into surplus at the end of the year.
Or transfer however you want to work it.
So you won't be paying double, but 1.5 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, so, just being you haven't really, you're negotiating with the sheriff's office union, you know there's going to be a grievance filed because somebody else that's doing their work. By title, that's their responsibility. Security in a county building. We've dealt with that before.
No, and let me just say, this is a municipal court. It's a
It's an
central
accounting building.
municipal court, but it is a municipal court. And there's no municipal court in the state of New Jersey, other than this court,
It's different.
that has sheriff's officers providing security. And the reason we went there is because the towns back at the time, this was in the latter part of 2021, were screaming that we think it ought to be the sheriff, we think it ought to be the sheriff. So we relented and we went with the sheriff. Keep in mind that the sheriff's officers, it's not just the manpower, but it's all the fringe benefits that his officers get. When you total all of that together, I think it's around $1.1 million. This contract is going to be for $625,000. So a savings of roughly $450,000, which will lessen the cost that we have to pass on to those municipalities. And I argued from the beginning, this is not sheriff's officers' work. They don't have work in a municipal court. They took the position, well, it's in a county building. Well, we have services over at the county office building. We don't have sheriff's officers providing security in the county office building. We have private security. We have private security at our other county buildings. So that's not the test at all. And if they file a grievance, we'll be prepared to argue that point. And as an aside, the Superior Court holds grand jury over in one of the rooms in the Central Municipal Court building. They were asked about providing an officer or two to oversee that, and the response came back, no, we're not going to do that because there's no Superior Court judge there. Well, guess what? There's no Superior Court judge in any other courtrooms there in that Central Municipal Court. They can't have it both ways. That's going to be our argument. But, the understanding is that the sheriff will take those people back. As we said, 4 or 5 of them right away, and then the others, as attrition occurs, and he gets retirements and things like that in these other spots. So we don't think we're being unfair at all. We think it's a savings to help keep these towns in. And by the way, the towns that are threatening to pull out, they, to my knowledge, have not yet submitted a plan to the assignment judge, and the assignment judge has to approve that plan for them to leave. It's a big question mark as to whether they will get that approval. My betting is that when push comes to shove, they won't get that approval. And they come to January 1st of 2024, those towns will still be in the Central Municipal Court. That's all I have to say.
Through you.
Mr. Ballas.
All right, so agree, okay? But the county relented and let the sheriff's office say, it's our work, and the county said, we're gonna give it to you. and we did. And that's gonna be their argument, and that's fine. We should have went with the private security company from day one. Okay? We knew that their plan was bloated. You know, you got a private security company with 6 officers that's gonna do the job that nine trained sheriff's officers with arrest powers had to do, which was ridiculous. And then they said they couldn't do it with 9 people. And you gave them all that money, which is crazy. But you know where they're gonna go. It doesn't mean there's any merit to the grievance, but that's down the road.
Well, we're gonna be talking to them. We're looking, a meeting will be set up next week to sit down to work things out. I'm confident we'll work something out.
But the county feels it's in good faith to pass this, award the contract, and then talk to them?
Yes, yeah, under the circumstances.
Okay, that way it's in place to start right away.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then
Mr. Chairman, if
I'm
I'm
not
not,
gonna go through all the arguments we have with them, I won't go through all of them, but I mean,
No.
but basically, the article, I understand the article in the contract speaks to our relationship with the sheriff's office. In other words, when we're gonna do something that would impact their manpower through budget or whatever, we have that in basically every contract, and we're just not gonna go to the union and say we're gonna take these positions away. They're making the argument about the central municipal court, which is over and above, their normal operations. This was something that the towns that were participants in the central municipal court, that they're the individuals that are the driving force behind that. So we used the word relented, but what we did was we said, okay, fine. They're now the group coming back to us and saying, hey, you gotta help us with the money. I mean, so you can't have this both ways. And that's that's part of our conversation with the union. Everybody can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways, they can't have it both ways, and then blame the county every time somebody's unhappy. It just doesn't work that way.
I agree.
And we'll take whatever stand we have to take, and as Jim said, we'll take them to court. We'll do whatever we have to do on both sides of the aisle, to do what we have to do, which we think is the appropriate way to fund the court, so.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
so that's my final comment on it. And I get what you're saying, Jerry. I don't want to split hairs with Ferguson. I totally disagree with his comment about the central courts. It's not a county, it's administered through the county. So the county played a major role in creating the central court.
Yes.
Whether there's a superior court judge there or not, we played a major role putting that together, right? I'm not saying that you don't have basis on your argument. I'm just saying at the end of the day, I question the salary, the amount of money that we're paying for outside firm. Balance raised good question. Ferguson makes a good argument. I get it. But now I didn't get it when it first came up. But because I asked the question, I'm getting answers that I was not familiar with. However, we talk about courts, and the last time I was at a meeting here, maybe not the last time, the big issue now is that the courts, the county courts, et cetera, are not working because now they're trying to pull out statewide. So now they say there's committee meetings going on through state legislature to abandon. I don't know if that's going to happen, but while you're in it, you got to make it work to the best of your ability until such time new language is put up to get rid of it. And again, I understand that. As you know, Atlantic City and Pleasantville, as of September 1st, will merge. It'll be Pleasantville, Atlantic City court. So Pleasantville choose to come to Atlantic City. We're not hiring outside firms, right? The Atlantic City cop can't do it. We need to get rid of the cop. But my point is, I get your point. I was just concerned about how we divvied up the money, and you're right. The sheriff's department came in there that 1 year, raising holy hell, and it cost us 1 point, whatever the dollars were. And now you say you can't do it. But I still say it's a county court because this governing body through the administration created as a recommendation for, I think it was shared services through Sweeney at the time, Senator Sweeney. But be as it may, I'm satisfied with the answer. I'm not gonna vote for it, but I got the answer.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Thank you. So we had 9 officers. Now we're going to have 6 officers.
7 officers, a sergeant and a lieutenant is what.
So 9 bodies
That's correct.
there. And there are going to be 6 bodies there.
Correct.
And 7 to 5 is a 10-hour day. 5 10-hour days with 6 people? Is that,
Well.
that doesn't sound like enough.
It's not gonna be, one person is gonna come in at 7 o'clock and just open everything up.
6 positions.
Court doesn't start until,
You don't
9
need 2 a
o'clock.
day?
So everybody will be there like 8:30 to 5, so.
It sounds like it's gonna be one person at some point. It does,
So only while the employees are coming in. The employees, like for the surrogate, for the violations clerk.
so you've found that 9 bodies are too many bodies.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need them.
No,
You only need 6.
You know, and I don't know if you know this, please forgive me if I'm not correct, but the courts, most of these cases are all done online. People do not come to this court.
Okay.
They have a room, if somebody wants to come to the court, they have a room outside where they sit in front of a computer and they talk to the judge who's in the courtroom. The courtrooms are all locked. Wednesday afternoon at the criminal courthouse, one of the judges sits there and hears the cases of people who probably are gonna end up in jail. So none of that is done at the municipal court.
Thank you.
And there's a court security plan and I mean, I've read it, I mean, I've gone through it and so the judges are supposed to have an armed officer in the courtroom with them. I mean, according to the court security. I mean, you read it, you know what it says.
Mhm.
So the same thing has to happen here. Even with it virtual, I think, the judge will make that decision, but for most part, I've been told, they want somebody in there with them,
When the
even
judge is
though,
on the
even
bench.
though it's virtual.
When he's on the bench.
Yeah.
There'll be a judge in each courtroom. I mean, an armed security person in each courtroom if the judge wants it. There'll be 2 people on the magnetometer and the X-ray machine. And then there's the 6th guy will be just walking around and, giving guys breaks or whatever. And walk outside every so often and make sure everything's okay.
Mr. Ballas?
Yeah, just one last question. Jerry, we don't have a unarmed security guard that's in there like we used to, right? Since it started?
They do, they do.
County clerk's office.
Yeah.
On the other side?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not at the main, because everybody coming in there has got to go through a metal detector.
That's correct, yes. And so, like you have on that side of the building, you have tax upstairs.
Right.
And you have surrogate downstairs. But on the other side, you have the clerk and.
Okay, so at the circuit.
Yeah, and just so we just, to let you know what goes on in the building, on the other side's the board of elections. And the board of elections goes through a door with, that there is, you have a guard up there, right?
Yes.
She sits, actually, there's a woman sitting in the back.
Yeah,
there, right?
there's a guard
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Any other discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair. First off, I'm glad I brought up the union. And all the questions that came out of that was exactly the kind of thing that I was alluding to. The question that I still have is, we're hearing so much about the municipal court and its health and about its future. Could we have some sort of reporting from you guys to us on the health of the municipal court, what the impact is if said Ventnor pulls out, Hamilton pulls out, is the court, it doesn't, but we ventured off the topic, so I'm gonna stay off the topic just a little bit. So floor's been open. So is there a way that we can have that conversation where we have that information as opposed to just hearing, this person, there's a rumor that Hamilton's talking about pulling out. There's a rumor that Ventnor's talking about pulling out. And what that impact's going to be on the court, because we're going to be forced to sit up here and make decisions on the fly if that happens.
Well,
So I'm going to put that out in the room. You don't have to answer it if it's quote unquote off topic, but I think everybody heard what I'm requesting.
as I understand it, Judge Blee is trying to work out a lot of the issues, correct?
Well, he's been authorized to go speak to, if I'm correct, he's speaking to the state legislators. But if I understand this correctly, then this board put people on the committees, correct?
Yes, we did.
Right, so I'm just saying,
Yes, we
so
did.
having them on the committees, I mean, you'd be getting this, when
Oh,
those
Jim.
meetings.
I'm kidding. Who did we put on? It was you?
I'm on one.
I'm on one.
I'm on one.
Why you don't report back to us?
We haven't been meeting. They've been canceling some of the meetings. So we get them on the agenda, then they cancel it because they gotta reschedule, they got conflicts. So when we get one, you'll hear it.
But I think that's, Mr. Child, I didn't want to get out of it, but, and you make a good point, Jerry, and thanks for bringing that up. If you on the committee, we're left in the dark, because you left in the dark, because they canceled the meeting. Well, who the hell's canceling the meetings?
On the court side, if they're, whatever their schedules may be, they've made some preliminary, we're gonna schedule something, then we'll get it canceled, we have to reschedule.
You know what that sound like?
You think that?
It sounds like we need to be informed.
It sound like they got some shady stuff going on. What the hell it sound like?
It sounds
And,
like.
and all jokes aside, that keeps us in the dark, right? Because we asked a question that maybe you could have provided to us if there were meetings, right? And Jerry basically put us on blast because we put people on the committee.
Here we go.
Yeah, but they had their meetings as they were forming the courts and coming up. So the only time we have a meeting.
Like you
is
said,
when
they
there's-
had no meetings.
When there's
Don't cover it
a
up.
policy change like this, but there wasn't a meeting.
Is it policy or is it politics?
Policy.
Policy, it's always policy.
So again, we have a
We've
break.
exhausted
It
this.
sounds we have a breakdown,
Thank
and I think we found where that breakdown is in terms of communication with the commissioners board. So whatever that breakdown is and whoever's responsible for it, I hope we're working on it.
So let me, Mr. Chairman, I'm ready to vote, but let me ask you this question. Is it, or would it be appropriate through the administration? Maybe we need to have Judge Blee to figure out, somebody got to give us some information, because this won't be the last thing to come to us, right? We're in the dark. Like you said, off the fly, we voting on stuff that only certain people entitled to have or have it. And there's no meetings. That's not fair to none of us. So maybe we need to reach out to Judge Blee.
Well, it's not
Mr.
necessarily
Chair,
a quiz. It's-
if I may, we
Mayor,
can
whoever it
put-
is.
Why don't we do this then? Why don't we
We
do
can
it?
pull-
Here's what will happen. Since we're here doing this, I'll make sure that whenever they're supposed to have a meeting, that the meeting occurs.
Okay.
I'll ensure that, and I'll ensure that once we settle in on this contract and everything, that we have a meeting, because we'll have, just so you know, the last few meetings, we've been involved, Jim and I have been involved in, because we've been putting the mayors in the, well, they've been saying to us, you need to do something with the cost. So we've been meeting with them, going through what that would look like, and are they willing to step up if we do what we need to do? So, I mean, that's been the conversations. I mean, they become, they become this meeting saying, you gotta do something, otherwise we're out. And I'm talking about the ones that are still in. I mean, when you ask that question, I'm not getting into the depth of the arguments about you gotta reduce cost. It goes across the 10 entities.
That's a fair.
So we'll make sure that you guys.
It's evolving, no question about it.
Thank you, Jerry.
You said judge or Jerry?
Jerry.
Oh, I thought you called you a judge.
Anyone else? Discussion. Any public comment on this? Number 440. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Dallas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Oh.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Kern?
Yes.
Yes.
Parker? Parker?
No.
Grizzly?
Yes. Okay. Moving on to 441, please.
Amending resolution number 405 adopted on July 19, 2022, a shared services agreement with Morris County to place Atlantic County youth when needed at the Morris County Juvenile Detention Center to extend the term date, amount not to exceed $100,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Any discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 442.
Public donor agreement with the Atlantic County Women's Center doing business as Advenzar for shelter and counseling services for the first half of 2023. County in-kind contribution $67,936.97.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Ballas. Discussion? Public comment? Please call a roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Brindley?
Yes, please read 443.
Public donor agreement with the Atlantic County Women's Center doing business as Avanzar for shelter and counseling services for the second half of 2023. County in-kind contribution $67,936.97.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion. Public comment. Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Brindley?
Yes, please read 444.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with the State of New Jersey Judiciary Administrative Office of the Courts for the provision of support services, revenue generating.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Days, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion. Public comment. Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Brindley?
Yes, we have a number of chapter 159, so we're going to combine and adopt, and I'll ask for a motion to do that for resolutions 445 to 455. Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Parker. Discussion. Public comment. Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Brindley?
Yes, please read resolution 456.
New Jersey Transit, Section 5311, carts, 2023, county cash match, $152,681.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion. Public comment. Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Brindley?
Yes. Reports of any special committees of the board. Anybody like to give a report? Any committee?
Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Gatto.
Yeah, thank you. Just circling back up actually to one of the ordinances that we introduced. I was having mute issues going on and off at the beginning of the meeting, and then the baseball guys came in. But we had discussed yesterday, Mr. Chair, in the administration committee, to ask Eric to go through some of the things around the changes in that ordinance related to the county park and specifically the camping areas, and just highlighting that both for the public and the commissioners of the changes and why those changes are coming, and which has a lot to do with the success and beautification of our county park. So I know we asked Eric to specifically be here to speak to that.
Yes, we can certainly put that on the public record, and we'll ask Eric if he could be so kind to give us a little update on that.
Sure, so, within the various.
Do you want to come up to the podium? Maybe it'd be easier, so everybody here.
Get them on video.
Within the various changes that we're requesting, there are two big areas. The first is with campsite reservations. So since 2020, we've seen a large increase in the number of people who are requesting sites in our campgrounds. So in the an effort to make those campsites available for everybody who's trying to get sites, what we've done is reduce the total number of days that you can reserve sites from 42 to 21. So a lot of people are not getting the chance to reserve sites, especially on prime weekends. So we used to have 42, we're knocking that down to 3 weeks total, 14-day maximum at a time with a 7-day out period, meaning that you can use the remaining 7 days as you wish after a 14-day stay. So the maximum is 14 days, 21 days for the season. We did also, to reach a different age bracket, we reduced the minimum age requirements from 21 to 18. So if you're able to drive and you can buy permits for other things in the park system, we don't see a reason not to allow an 18-year-old to reserve a campsite. So that age is dropped from 21 to 18. We did also add some language that would require adult supervision at all times, just to prohibit family members from leaving young ones at the site. We did have a few cases of that. We also reduced the number of sites you could reserve at one time to just 2. That helps curb the tendency to go online and take the entire campground, if you could. We've had cases where families have come in and tried to buffer sites and keep others out. So in an effort to curb that, we've said you go on, you make a reservation, 2 sites at a time. You can go on another day and take 2 more sites and 2 more sites and such, but you can't take our whole public campground for a family reunion and keep others blocked out. And we did add a little bit of stronger language to leave the site the way you found it. So we are a carry-out facility. We used to have trash cans. We have removed those and placed a dumpster on site. So as you leave, we're requesting that you take your trash to that red container there. So we've had some cases where sites were left in pretty bad shape. So in an effort to curb that, we just wanted to add that language, the ability in there to hold people accountable for the way they leave the sites. The only other big change in this ordinance was the removal of the mooring program. So we had several cases in the past where there were some safety issues related to mooring at the bulkhead. So if you're moored to the bulkhead, you're not actually touching the bulkhead. You're 10 to 15 feet off, anchored to a mooring buoy perpendicular to the bulkhead. What we experienced were lots of boats actually physically attached to the bulkhead. We had one of those boats actually catch fire. We had a boat sink. It took us over a year to remove that boat. There are 3 floating docks there that are still accessible, so you can bring a boatload of people to that floating dock, offload those people, they can walk up to the bulkhead down to Sugar Land or across the street to Gasco Park. So we're not actually trying to reduce the use of that public property, but we are trying to make it a much safer experience. The mooring program was traditionally 10 days long with a 1-day out, meaning that in certain respects it was not to be treated as a docking facility for the entire summer. So you're paying $10, you're mooring your boat for 10 days, and if you end up paying $100, you get an entire summer worth of docking. And I don't think that was the intention. Our intention was to make it available for people to use the floating docks, but not tie up the entire bulkhead as a docking facility. So we are still seeing a large amount of usage in the bowl. So the bowl is state waters, it's not county. So, and technically, if you move your boat off of the bulkhead, you're in state waters, you're no longer attached to county property. So we are still seeing plenty of use in the bowl, but just to keep the bulkhead intact and safe, we decided to remove the actual mooring program, so it didn't function as a dock, docking facility.
I thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask you a
Yes.
question?
Rich, of course.
How much does it cost to rent a spot out there?
The mooring was traditionally $10, one permit for 10 days.
That's for the boat.
That's for a
That's for a
boat.
boat.
That's for a boat.
No, I'm talking about the campsite.
Campsite.
Oh, campsites. $17.
$17 a night?
Mm-hmm.
There was language about reckless driving. Could you
Yes.
talk about that for a second?
Sure. The public safety had asked us, the ranger unit specifically, to incorporate language that actually defined careless driving in addition to reckless driving, so that there was I guess, I don't want to speak on their behalf, but I think it's a lesser, well, easier to prove charge where people in the camping facilities or parks in general are obeying the speed limit. It's a much easier haul to get to careless driving as being something that the rangers are able to enforce, not just reckless.
Well, you've obviously put a lot of thought into this, and it's appreciated. It's appreciated. Anyone else have any
Thank you,
questions?
sir.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Okay, anyone else have any committee reports they'd like to expound upon?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
so at the Veterans Advisory Commission meeting, there was a presentation by our prosecutor and a couple of his detectives. They have started, I guess for a little while now, a Veteran Service Officer program. And these officers are, specially trained to, go out on the street and deal with issues, especially for emotionally disturbed persons that are veterans. And the idea is the officer has to be a veteran. And of course, they have to go through this specialized training. There's quite a few, or most municipalities have one or two officers that are participating. Atlantic City is big time with that. Of course, all the municipal police departments, they have plenty of military veterans on their force. They just need to get certified. So Veterans Advisory Board sent a letter to county executive, and I believe, I know I was copied. I don't know if everybody was copied on
we were
that.
copied.
That requesting that we do a resolution in support of the prosecutor's program,
Correct.
and encouraging municipalities also to support this program and get officers trained to be able to, be the responding officers to deal with these military veterans that are in crisis. So that's something we'd be looking forward to doing a resolution on.
Absolutely, absolutely. We all know about the suicide rates and all that, very, very high, and it's a wonderful thing. It's an expansion of our Veteran Service Officer office, which is great. All good. Anyone else? The committee's reports? If not, we'll move into unfinished business. Anyone have any topics of unfinished business?
I have one question
Yes.
for our engineer. Doug, when's the contractor gonna get back out there on Zion Road? I mean, it looks like a war zone right now.
Yeah, I believe they're still doing some curb and drainage work. But they're waiting for all the trenches they made for the drainage work to settle.
Yeah,
And
they're
once
settling.
that's done.
You drive down that road, they're settled.
Okay, I mean.
They need to
we
put
can,
some more asphalt in there.
We could have them address that. Also, the water company went in and did some work as well.
Yes.
So we'll have to see who's
responsibility, but you drive down there, I mean, it's be smoother driving on the moon.
Right. I will talk to our inspector and have them address.
Great, appreciate it.
Mr. Chair, while we're on
Yes.
that topic, Doug, any insights or updates on what the heck's going on at Cologne Avenue corner? Because it's been about 75 days at least of no activity.
Right, I believe that contract covers several locations throughout the area.
5 to be exact,
South
yes.
Jersey. So I'm not sure when they're getting back to our,
Can you harass them before I do, please?
Sure.
And get a status?
Yeah.
Well, there was another accident out there recently, so I mean, it's ridiculous.
Mr. Chair, if I-
Yes.
I was gonna address that actually, Commissioner, during the written communication. I've received several emails from residents on Cologne Avenue and businesses on Cologne Avenue asking the same question. I reached out to our new liaison, as you know, I've mentioned before, that Vanessa left.
Yeah.
Multiple emails, voicemails, and I've just heard nothing back. Has your office had any luck in hearing anything from the new liaison?
I know John Musto was attempting to get in touch with them earlier this week. I'm not sure if he heard that.
Okay, so I've been trying for a month via email and phone and, all right, so we need to kind of step up, I'm thinking, because. All right.
Okay. Good?
We have new business?
Yes.
I guess I could report this. On Saturday, August 26, 2023, the Atlantic County Puerto Rican Parade will be hosting its 24th annual Latin Music Festival at the Tilton Road Park in Pleasantville, New Jersey, from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And they're going to be having their 24th annual Roots Award VIP reception ceremony Friday, August 25th from 7 to 11 p.m. And that will be at Provenza Restaurant in Ventnor City. 5001 Wellington Avenue, Ventnor City.
I'd just like to mention under new business that at 11 o'clock today, myself and Commissioner Fitzpatrick and Corsi, we witnessed the governor and some other legislators participating in the signing of a bill that will provide $100 million for boardwalk repair throughout the state. And it's certainly a good thing, and I certainly hope that the Department of Community Affairs that has to meet these monies out will do it as prudently as possible and hopefully make that money last for a number of years. Because I'm sure there'll be each town will be asking for funds. And I just hope that they're going to be able to make it last. But it's certainly a good program. The boardwalks, of course, are essential to us along the coast here. It's a big part of our economy. Also, I did attend the 4-H ceremony at 4-H Park there on Route 50. And of course, each year I present on behalf of the county the Seashell Award as to the 4-H ambassador. This year was a young lady by the name of Cheyenne Bilge, who I presented the Seashell Award to. So that's always a very positive thing. And the 4-H program runs many programs out there, somewhere between 25 and 30 programs that are available to young people in this county. All very positive. Anyone else under new business? How about written communications, petitions? Anybody receive anything they'd like to share? If not, then we'll open the meeting to the public. The meeting's now open to the public. Anyone like to speak? Have up to 3 minutes, and please come forward and state your name and address. Yes, sir.
My name is Jim Akers. I live in Mandusville. This is kind of a comment on old business. At the June 20th meeting, when Resolution 350 was introduced, it called for an immediate moratorium on offshore wind development projects. I'm okay with the amended resolution, but I can take the original wording in no other way than a direct attack on my livelihood, the livelihoods of my fellow workers. Other than 2 years that I spent participating in Operation Iraqi Freedom with an activated New Jersey National Guard unit, I've lived my whole life in Atlantic County. I spent the last 20 years working in construction. Nearly all the projects I've worked on have been either infrastructure and energy. Jobs in southern New Jersey. And this includes hospitals, bridges, gas cogens, trash to steam projects, repairs on aging coal plants, emergency transfer swaps at nuke plants, nuclear refuel outages, schools, dormitories, solar arrays. I did have a 6-month stint building a casino once, but almost everything else I've done has been infrastructure that our community needed. I take a lot of pride in what I do. South Jersey's workforce, Atlantic County's workforce is ready to build offshore wind. It's going to be hundreds, if not thousands of jobs for us for years to come. It's going to create jobs that extend past the initial construction for thousands of local people to work in this new industry. Furthermore, we need the electricity. Demand for electricity continues to grow with an increasing number of consumers. More and more electric cars are showing up on the road that need to be charged daily. Our coal plants are aging out and shutting down. Oyster Creek Nuclear Generating Station shut down a couple of years ago. How many more years will Salem and Hope Creek run for? We need new generation, and offshore wind is what we have on the books to be built. We need to build it now. Trying to obstruct this process because it's become politicized is extremely counterproductive to our energy needs. And it's a slap in the face of the hardworking men of Atlantic County, men and women of Atlantic County and the rest of southern New Jersey who need these jobs to support their families.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good to see you all.
You too.
I'm Fred Akers. I live at 175 9th Street in Newtonville.
and I am related to the previous speaker. And I came today to support offshore wind. And so I had a statement here in case I wasn't able to read it, but it's time to stop playing politics with Atlantic County's environment and get real about protecting Atlantic County from climate change. The burning of carbon-based fossil fuels with CO2 emissions is heating up Earth's surface and ocean basins and creating a climate change emergency. Catastrophic wildfires, epic floods, and devastating weather events are rapidly increasing around the world. To fight this problem, we need to phase out fossil fuels as soon as possible to avoid the most devastating impacts of unchecked climate change. For a reality check on climate change, ask the insurance industry, not the whales. Atlantic County government should be doing more to protect the county from climate change. The Mid-Atlantic Marine Fisheries Council is very concerned about the impacts of climate change on the marine fisheries off Atlantic County. Ocean warming is impacting fish migration, sea levels are rising, and ocean acidification is increasing. To plan ahead for the impacts of climate change on marine fisheries, the Mid-Atlantic Marine Fisheries Council is conducting climate change scenario planning, which they have asked me to help with. Given the potential future impacts of climate change to county roads, parks, and infrastructure, Atlantic County should initiate its own climate change scenario planning. The state of New Jersey has already started climate change scenario planning here in Atlantic County with Resilient NJ in the Atlantic County coastal region. New Jersey and the federal government are working to develop offshore wind to decarbonize energy systems, provide economic growth, and mitigate the future impacts of climate change. Atlantic County government should get on board with renewable energy. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service on the ACUA. Appreciate it. Anyone else like to speak? Yes, ma'am.
I apologize if my delivery is a little halting. I just found out about the meeting at the last minute. So I am Ann Poole, President of the Board of Directors, volunteer President of the Board of Directors of the New Jersey Environmental Lobby. NJEL is a 51-year-old organization headquartered in Trenton, almost totally volunteer, and it is supported by the dues and donations of our members. Since its inception, one of NJEL's priorities has been clean air. And as data emerged about the causes and effects of climate change, we added that to our priorities for action. We've made it our business to follow the developments in offshore wind energy since projects were first discussed for New Jersey 16 years ago. So claims that these projects have been brought on quickly without any notice to the public are just not true. The public has been made aware of all of these things since 2006. We made it our business to learn about the technical, economic, and environmental elements of wind farms, and our board of directors includes an industry expert. Our organization is firmly in favor of offshore wind farms off the coast of New Jersey. Continued reliance on fossil fuels will exacerbate the climate change and sea level rise that is already causing property damage and imposing economic costs on New Jersey's coastal counties. There have been years of wildlife surveys, data collection, research, modeling, and reviews by universities, developers, and government entities, as well as the benefit of the experiences of the wind farms that have been operating for decades in Europe and for several years in Rhode Island. There are voluminous reports online available from developers that address the expected and possible impacts of the construction and operation of wind farms. The construction and operation plans are available for review. So claims that there is not enough information are just not true. If someone who is 30 years old started today to read all the data and the documentation and the different reports, I don't think the person would live long enough to complete them. So I just hope that Atlantic County will not be influenced by opponents who are more concerned about the view from their living rooms than the climate change that is happening now. Our planet is on fire. There's no more time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? If not, then I'll ask for any comments to the good of the order before we adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Yes.
Let me just take this opportunity, once again, as you all know, we mourned the loss this week of Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver. A number of us from Atlantic City and surrounding area attended the services on Thursday, some went on Friday, and a bunch of us went on Saturday. What a, if you can sum it up by saying, what a hell of a send-off for a lady who has always claimed to be Jersey girl. And Dionne Warwick and others was there, was at the cathedral there in Newark. You couldn't even count how many people in there. It was just so many people. But I thought the governor and the state of New Jersey did an outstanding job. State police and other municipalities sending Lieutenant Governor a well-deserved send-off. Now you move on by that. She has left a lifetime of memories. And I can speak for that from Atlantic City. When Atlantic City was on the takeover under Chris Christie, Murphy and Oliver came in, basically took a foot off our neck and allowed Atlantic City to govern under the umbrella of oversight of the state of New Jersey. Under the leadership of Sheila Oliver as the Lieutenant Governor and / DCA Commissioner, Atlantic City has been able to get a lot of stuff done. Our revenues are up. The town is making a turnaround. Do we have problems? Absolutely. But the partnership with the late Lieutenant Governor has been outstanding. And we hope whoever her replacement is going to be will continue that same trend. They're not going to be a Sheila Oliver, I understand that. But we would hope that when they look at Atlantic City, not only looking at Atlantic City, they're looking at Atlantic County, they're looking at the state of New Jersey. So goes Atlantic City, goes the state of New Jersey, in spite of whatever the politicians may say. The fact of the matter is that was a outstanding working relationship. Sheila Oliver often talked about when she retired, she wanted to retire to Atlantic City. Unfortunately, she didn't get to do that. But we continue to keep her mother in our prayers and thoughts and family, 95 years young. And you should have saw her on Saturday if you didn't get to watch it live. She was very much into the service. It was a lot of good memories of the Lieutenant Governor. But as you now know, Kim Holmes, Dr. Kim Holmes, who happened to have been Sheila Oliver's chief of staff on the DCA side, is now the acting commissioner of DCA, which still goes, I believe, well for Atlantic City. She was here today as well at the press conference, as our chairman alluded to, regarding the $100 million bulwark restoration. But I said that to say, our better days are still ahead of us. And we, as towns, whether we're Democrats or we're Republican, at the end of the day, we have a job to do, and we've got to do our best job representing our constituents. But we hope we don't lose that fight and that strength and that support from Trenton. Now that Sheila Oliver is gone, here's a woman, in my closing remarks, a woman who was a freeholder, county administrator, first African-American, y'all read the story, first African-American speaker of the General Assembly, and the first African-American female Lieutenant Governor. So she laid the work, the foundation for a lot of young women, whether they black, white, or whatever. There's a pattern she laid. And folks in the communities need to grab it and teach our young people that there's a place for them in public service. Us old folks, at some point, gonna fade off. Who's bringing up the rear? And so we've got to continue to encourage young people in our communities. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. And I think she had a hell of a finish. And again, our prayers and thoughts continue to go out to the family, and cannot commend Governor Murphy and his entire staff for outstanding job. The way they send the lieutenant governor off and the way they supported her family, it is unbelievable. And one relative that I know related to Sheila Oliver, and most of you know he served on this board as a freeholder, is presiding elder Reverend Lawton Nelson Jr. That's our first cousin who served on this board. So we had some connections here anyway, but her memories will live on forever. And we've got a lot to thank her for in Atlantic City. Anti-violence. She was able to allow us to bring back senior services and youth services that was done away years ago. So she played a major role in shaping a lot of the city departments in Atlantic City. And it took a lot of weight and pressure off other municipalities trying to do stuff for young people in the community. So may her soul rest in peace. And New Jersey will never be the same without Sheila Y. Oliver. Thank you so much.
Anyone else under the good of the order? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.